When was the last time you were led down the garden path or got on with someone like a house on fire? You'll learn some useful idioms connected to house and home in this homely episode of
Aprender Inglés con Reza y Craig.
Hi, welcome. My name's Reza.
And my name's Craig.
And with over 45 years of teaching experience between us, we hope we'll help you improve your English and take it up to the next level. How are you, Craig?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm on top of the world, feeling great.
That's good to hear. So today we've got 10 idioms for you, all connected in some way to house and home. So let me read them to you first, and then we'll see if you know what they mean. And if you don't, we'll explain them to you so that you can include them in your vocabulary list. Number 1, to lead someone up or down the garden path.
Number 2, everything but the kitchen sink.
Number 3, to get on like a house on fire.
Number 4, to eat someone out of house and home.
5, to be on the house.
6, to have a skeleton in the cupboard or in the closet.
7, to throw money down the drain.
8, to bring home the bacon.
9, to be home and dry.
And number 10, to make yourself at home.
Okay, those are the 10 we're looking at today. And let's start with number 1, to lead someone up or down the garden path. Now, I'm going to give you 2 definitions. What does this idiom mean? So you've got an A or B choice. Now, to lead someone up or down the garden path. Path is sendero or camino, and to lead is llevar. Be careful with the pronunciation because L-E-A-D can be pronounced lead, llevar, or led, plomo. So the pronunciation here is lead. So what does it mean, do you think? He really led me up the garden path. Does that mean he lied to me and deceived me? Or he showed me around his house? What do you think, Reza?
The meaning is A. He lied to me and deceived me. That is the meaning of lead someone up or lead someone down the garden path.
Can you remember the last time someone led you down the garden path?
Yes, I'll never forget it. I was at the tender age of about 20, 21.
What does the tender age mean?
La edad tierna. You know, it's a difficult age, isn't it? 20, 21. You're very sensitive.
Naive,
innocent. And that was my problem. I was sensitive and I was naive. Let's just say I trusted my girlfriend and I really shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
She really led me down the garden path. I also shouldn't have trusted one of my best friends. I'll leave it at that and your imagination, and you can work out what happened.
I've had a similar experience, with an ex-girlfriend and a best friend. So I think I know exactly what you mean. We've both been led up the garden path by best friends.
I mean, my friend really led me up the garden path big time. Big time means in a very exaggerated way, because I confided in him my problems that I was having with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't understand why she didn't want to see me, why she didn't want to talk to me. I didn't know what had even started the problem. I just wanted to be able to talk to her. I didn't know that she was seeing him, and I was confiding in him my problems. That hurts, let me tell you.
I'm guessing he's not your friend any longer.
No.
What's number 2?
Everything but the kitchen sink. The sink is la pila. I'll give you an example sentence. When my wife goes on holiday, she takes everything but the kitchen sink.
The but here means except, doesn't it?
Except.
So apart
she
from.
nearly takes the kitchen sink. Look at it like that. So what does that really mean? Is it A, when my wife goes on holiday, she likes to go camping and self-catering? So she takes lots of things, but not quite the kitchen sink? Or does it mean B? When my wife goes on holiday, she takes too many things with her in general. A or B, Craig?
The answer is B. She takes too many things with her. What about you, Reza? Do you tend to take too much stuff, too many things when you go on holiday, or do you travel light? To travel light means not many things in your suitcase. For example, when you went to Cuba a few years ago, did you take everything but the kitchen sink?
I didn't take that much, no. I, believe it or not, I went to Cuba, right? And a friend of mine used to live in Cuba. And she said, would you mind taking some stuff to give to a friend of mine, her friend, not my friend, in Cuba? So in fact, about a third of my case was full of a complete stranger's clothes that she was being given by my friend.
But no kitchen sink.
No kitchen sink. So I don't need a lot of space. So I even brought stuff for a complete stranger. I met her and give her the stuff. And so my suitcase was half empty going back. I do travel light. Yeah.
You're a light traveler.
I never, ever, ever pay money to check on, facturar, or check in, if you like, a suitcase ever. In the case of going to Cuba, it was free. It's part of the ticket, so I did it. But you know, when you have to pay extra to check in a case, I never pay it because I don't need it. Yep. What about you?
I try to travel light, and my rule of thumb is something you generally do as a habit, something you usually do, something you do as a habit, is that I pack my suitcase and then I take out 20% of the things after I've packed. Do I really, really need this? No, I'll take it out. So I pack normally, and then I take out about 20-25% of the clothes in the suitcase. It usually works. Number 3 is to get on like a house on fire. To get on like a house on fire. So we have the phrasal verb here to get on, llevar or llevarse bien, like a house on fire. Is that positive or negative, do you think? So your two choices. Let me give you an example sentence. My boss and I get on like a house on fire. Does that mean I'm always arguing with my boss? Or I have a very good relationship with my boss? Reza, what do you think?
Well, I think listeners will be surprised to hear the answer is B. If you get on like a house on fire, you have a very good relationship with someone. That definition often surprises people. They think, oh, well, the burning house isn't a good thing. But in fact, this idiom means that you do have a good relationship.
How do you get on with Coco, your little four-legged friend?
Like a house on fire. He's my soulmate.
I thought so. I think we get on like a house on fire.
Me too. We never argue, or very, very rarely. We see eye to eye on most things. To see eye to eye, eye to eye, means that you have a very similar perspective.
I agree. What's number 4?
4 is the idiom to eat someone out of house and home. So I'll give you an example sentence. Our son eats us out of house and home. That's a typical thing that parents say. Our son eats us out of house and home. Does it mean A, our son never eats at home? Maybe he eats out. Or does it mean B, our son has a very big appetite?
Well, I'm saying B. Our son has a very big appetite. So if you eat someone out of house and home, you eat a lot. When you visit your mum in Belfast, do you eat her out of house and home?
I do, yeah, because she always has lots of goodies at home. Goodies are the good things like biscuits, cake, chocolate, stuff which I don't have so much of in my house, but I know she's going to have it. And it just seems more fun eating it in somebody else's house, doesn't it?
Especially if you feel comfortable to raid the cupboards. To raid the cupboards means to go and open the cupboards and eat everything that's good inside. To eat your parents out of house and home.
Craig, have you ever had a guest who ate you out of house and home?
Not really. My guests in general are quite respectful and polite. They don't open the cupboards and eat all the food.
I once had a guest who rather overstayed his welcome. To overstay your welcome means to stay longer than you are really supposed to stay. So you say 3 days, but you're there for 3 weeks or a month. You've overstayed your welcome.
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a man, and he ate me out of house and home. But he did one particular thing which really annoyed me. I said, help yourself to anything. But, if you drink the wine, can you replace it, please? Because I'd like to have a bottle of wine at home just in case someone unexpectedly arrives and I can offer them something to drink. So I said he could drink it, but could he please replace it when he had time? So he often did drink my wine. He often did drink my Rioja or Ribera del Duero, Crianza or Reserva wine and replace it with €1.50 Hacendado Mercadona horrible wine. That annoyed me a lot because he did it many, many times.
So you didn't get on like a house on fire after that?
No, and I thought it was very cheeky. So I can't say he ate me out of house and home, but I really didn't like that aspect, I must say.
I had a guest who stayed in a flat that I wasn't living in at the time, someone you know actually, who stayed in my flat for a few weeks, during which time he drank all the beer, he drank all the wine, he drank my Scotch whiskey, single malt, and all my other spirits, and he drank me out of house and home.
Literally, you had no drink left?
No drink left, and he didn't replace it with cheaper drink either.
Yeah. Wow, that's not very common for someone to do that, because normally most humans, we have the understanding that if you start to use someone's supply of something, it could be alcohol, could be bread, anything really. If you finish it, the normal reaction is, oh, well, I finished it. I should leave some for the next person who arrives.
Yeah,
right?
replace it.
Even if it's just a bit. But to use it all up and not put any in place is very rude, isn't it?
Yeah, it's eating someone out of house and home, definitely. The next one is to be on the house, number 5. If something is on the house, for example, would you like a drink on the house? Does that mean, can I offer you a free drink? Or would you like to have a drink on our roof terrace? What do you think, Reza?
The meaning is A. Can I offer you a free drink? So if it's on the house, that means the house is responsible for the payment. So you don't have to pay. Sea, corre a cuenta de la casa, I think you say in Spanish.
So you'll be pleased to know, Reza, that today all tea and biscuits are on the house.
Oh, right. I'm going to eat them out of house and home then.
Eat us out of biscuits.
But I won't eat the last one. Never eat the last one.
Never eat the last one. De vergüenza.
Number 6 is this idiom. To have a skeleton in the cupboard or have a skeleton in the closet. Cupboard, closet is the same thing.
Esqueleto.
I'll give you an example sentence and you can think about it. I think our neighbors have a lot of skeletons in their cupboard. Does that mean A, I think our neighbors have a lot of unpleasant secrets? Or B, I think our neighbors are serial killers. They murder people, so they keep the skeletons in the cupboard. Is it A or B, Craig?
Well, it's got to be B. I mean, A. It's got to be A, yeah. If you have some secrets, maybe some secrets that are not very nice, you can say about someone that they have a lot of skeletons in their cupboard. What about you, Reza? Do you have any skeletons in your cupboard?
Not many that I know of. No big one that I know of. But, sometimes you forget. I think people forget about embarrassing things that have happened in the past. And someday someone arrives and they remind you and you think, oh God, I'd forgotten about that. But it's true. So not that I know of, but who knows? What about you? Are there any that you know of in your life?
There are one or two, yes. I think one or two skeletons in my cupboard from different people. I think most people have. As you say, some skeletons might be bigger than others. Some secrets might be bigger or larger than others. But I think most people keep some secrets from some people, don't they? A few skeletons laying around in my closet, I would say.
Yes, but I keep some secrets, but I wouldn't say that all of those are skeletons in my cupboard, because you can keep a secret just because you don't want to tell anybody. But for me, a skeleton in the cupboard it's something embarrassing you wouldn't want people to know because it's going to make you look bad. So for me, not all secrets are skeletons in the cupboard.
I agree.
Some are. Some things I just don't want people to know. You know when it's typical to say this is at a wedding, isn't it? At a wedding in English, it's the job of the best man. That's the best friend, the male friend of the man who's going to get married, to give a little speech. And quite often in Britain and in America, we try to make this speech funny because a wedding's a fun occasion. So the best man, the friend of the man getting married, he quite often mentions the skeletons in the cupboard of the groom, the one getting married, embarrassing things that people might not know, just to have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. So if Pepito's getting married, the best man might say, there are no skeletons in Pepito's cupboard, or so we thought. And then you continue to list a few embarrassing moments in Pepito's life. So number 7, to throw money down the drain. Throw money down the drain. Drain, D-R-A-I-N, is desagüe. And what does that mean? Now, here's the example. If you invest money in that business, you'll be throwing it down the drain. If you invest money in the business, you'll be throwing it down the drain.
What is the business, Craig?
The business is walking cats for money because, you have these dog walking services. So imagine I had the idea of people paying me to take their cats for a walk. Does that sound a big money maker to you?
No.
So do you think it's throwing money down the drain to set up a business like that?
Well, give me my 2 options of the meaning.
Here are the 2 options. A, it's a way to save money. Or B, it's a way to waste money. So to throw money down the drain, is it saving it or wasting it? What do you think?
Well, if it's a cat walking business, I think that's wasting money because not many people are going to go for that. If it was something on internet, it might be a very good investment, but walking cats, that's money down the drain. It costs you a lot of money to set up the company and very few people are going to need it. You're just wasting your money.
What if I set up a podcasting business? Would that be throwing money down the drain?
Not at all, no. Because even though you make very little, if not zero money from giving podcasts, Craig and I get a lot of satisfaction from the fact that you guys are listening. So we don't make a lot of money, that's true. In fact, we don't really make any money. But the satisfaction is priceless.
When was the last time you threw money down the drain?
I very rarely throw money down the drain. I'm very careful about making big payments for things unless I know I'm getting good value for money. So I can't remember. Oh, right. Okay, I can remember one occasion when I was a teenager or perhaps in my early 20s and I was a little bit more vanidoso than that. And I bought contact lenses.
That's not throwing money down the drain, surely.
It is if you only wear them twice and they're supposed to be permanent.
Okay. So what happened? Did you lose them?
No, I just couldn't ever get used to them. So I wore them twice, put them back in their box and never wore them again. And that cost me about £200.
Yeah.
So that was money down the drain because I never used them.
Number 8 is to bring home the bacon. To bring home the bacon. What does that mean? Well, here's your example sentence. Who brings home the bacon in your family? Who brings home the bacon in your family? Your 2 possibilities. A, who buys the meat in your family? Or B, who earns the money in your family? What do you think, Reza?
Well, the real meaning is B, who earns the money in your family? Who brings home the bacon? Who's the one who has the job which gives most of the money to pay for things?
It was always my dad in our family who brought home the bacon. My mum used to work, but never for a salary.
Yes, indeed, that was normal, wasn't it? about 50, 60, 70 years ago, it was in most societies, mostly the men who brought home the bacon because there weren't so many opportunities for women to earn a decent salary.
These days, it could be the woman or the man who brings home the bacon.
Yeah, for me, if I had a partner who earned a lot of money and she could support both of us, I would be happy for her to work and for me to be a stay-at-home house husband. Seriously. If she earned a lot of money, I would be happy to look after the house.
There's another house and home expression, a house husband. A house husband stays at home, does the housework, looks after the kids, does the shopping.
A more modern version of the traditional housewife. So if it's a man, it's a house husband. I would be happy to be a house husband.
Me too.
If I had a partner who brought home the bacon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For me, it's purely mathematical. Whoever can earn the most money and for not too much effort should.
I agree.
Well, I look at it.
What's number 9?
To be home and dry is number 9. To be home and dry. I'll give you an example. That was a good meeting. We're home and dry now. We're home and dry now. Does that mean A, we got very wet having the meeting outside in the rain, but now that we're home, we can get dry? Or is it B, the meeting was successful and we don't expect any problems in the future?
Well, that's obviously B, isn't it? The meeting was successful and we don't expect any problems in the future. So at the moment, Reza and I are preparing for our summer break here in Valencia, Spain. So we're recording podcasts now in advance for the summer break. Now, we have about 5 more podcasts to record. And when we record those podcasts, we'll be home and dry. No more problems. Number 10, the last idiom on our list is to make yourself at home. To make yourself at home. For example, please come in. Make yourself at home. Can I get you a drink? Now, does that mean A, make yourself comfortable, or B, take off your clothes and have a shower?
It's A. It simply means make yourself comfortable.
Yeah. Mi casa, tu casa. Or would you say siéntase en casa or siéntate en casa, perhaps?
I think they say that in South America, but not so much in Spain. I could be wrong. So make yourself at home means make yourself comfortable, be relaxed.
So did you say that to your friend who came to visit and ate you out of house and home? Did you say make yourself at home?
I did, but I lived to regret it. I perhaps shouldn't have.
I wonder if this person is now a skeleton in your closet.
Yes, indeed it is. It is a big skeleton.
So those are our 10 idioms to lead someone up or down the garden path, everything but the kitchen sink, to get on like a house on fire, to eat someone out of house and home, to be on the house, to have a skeleton in the cupboard or in the closet, to throw money down the drain, to bring home the bacon, to be home and dry, and to make yourself at home.
And now it's your turn to practice your English. Can you use any of these idioms? Maybe in an email or a voice message? When was the last time you threw money down the drain or got on with someone like a house on fire? Send us a voice message and let us know. Send it to speakpipe.com/Inglés podcast or send us an email with a comment or question to
me, Craig, at inglespodcast.com.
Or me, belfastreza@gmail.com.
Before we go, we'd love to thank our wonderful sponsors, starting with Bruno, our gold sponsor on Patreon, who offers walking tours of Copenhagen through his company, CopenhagenWalkingTour.com. Now, if you're going to Copenhagen and you're interested in seeing the city and having an experienced English-speaking or Spanish-speaking guide, then why not get in touch with Bruno, who offers castle tours of the city, walking tours around Copenhagen, and these tours come very well recommended. Also, if you're going to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Bruno offers tours led by local guides only of the favela area in Rio. Now, it's very safe, and the money that you contribute to the tour partly goes to help the community and give back to them to improve their daily needs. Go to Bruno's websites to find out more information, CopenhagenWalkingTour.com for Copenhagen and favelawalkingtour.com.br for Rio de Janeiro. Thank you to all our wonderful patrons who are supporting the podcast. Reza, who are they?
Ana Giovanna, Dana Constantin, Pachi Ibañez, Manuel Tarazona, Juan Carlos Rodado, Maite Palacín Pérez, Lara Arlem, Néstor from Luces Extrañas, María Gervati, Lorena, Sara Jarabo, Carlos Garrido, Mamen, Juan Leva Galera, Corey Finneran from the ivenvy.com podcast, Miren Full, José Luis Arregui, Agus Paulucci, Mariel Riedemann, Manuel García Betagón, Raúl López, Rafael, José Manuel Fernández Picazo, Pilar Martínez, Gambati Blog, Igor Garmendia, Ignacio Espona, Kieran, Ana Ibarra, Marina Artiz Pena, Juan Carlos Pantín Fernández, Alejandro Pluma, Alex Cuadra, José Emilio Villena, Esperanza Colmenero, Emilio Manuel Martínez Rivas, Chema Santa Cruz, Ana Fernández Monterrubio, Carlos Cano Domingo, Gustavo, Antonio Díaz, José Antonio Muñoz, Eva María Elizalde Martínez, Arminda Fafo, Carlos Sánchez, Elvira Cortés, Francisco Javier Alejandra y Sebastián, Andrea Mío, Rogelio Menéndez, Antonio Lafuente, Eloy, Pablo Martínez, Miguel, Javier Correa Zambade, Alejandro Martínez, and Alejandro Ventura. And our latest patrons are Isabel Armada and Mar Carmona.
Thank you to all of those wonderful people for continuing to support the podcast and transcriptions for our podcast. You can join our Patreon program for as little as $1 per month, and by doing so, you get instant access to recent transcriptions lovingly transcribed by Angelica Bello from Madrid. If you would like to join that lovely list, go to patreon.com/inglespodcast. Thank you also to Patricia Alonso, who continues working hard transcribing episodes for you. And we now have episodes 1 to 22 and 131 to 142. Of course, not only Patricia, but there have been others who have helped us in the past, like Arminda from Madrid. Thank you very much. Alberto from Granada. Thank you. We really appreciate your time. On next week's episode, we're speaking about death. But it won't be too depressing. We'll try to make it not as depressing as you might think. So join us for death next week on Inglés Podcast. Until then, it's goodbye from Reza.
And goodbye from Craig.
The music in this podcast is by Pitts. The track is called See You Later.
So, I'll give you an example holiday. Example holiday? Can you use any of these idioms?